the magic of this class happening, changing people's life, and some of the proofs are right here amongst us in the audience. Thank you very much. So today's verse that we are going to speak on is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th Canto, chapter 3, verse 49. A verse that looks very simple on the surface, but is actually very deep and very personal. This verse is not mainly for the beginners. It's meant for devotees who are actually practicing devotional life. People who are already chanting, people who are already doing deity worship, for the people who already follow the rules. Because of that, this verse does not teach us what to do as much as it teaches us how to be while doing it. And that makes it a little uncomfortable, but very necessary. So the verse is Suchi sammukham ashina prana samana abdibhi pindam vishadya sannyasa krita rakshora chedharim. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After cleansing oneself, purifying the body through pranayam and other processes, and marking the body with sacred tilak for protection, one should sit in front of the deity and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Pranayam is the authorized Vedic process for controlling the air within the body. Similarly, Bhuta Shuddhi is a process for purifying the body. The word Suchi, literally, it means that one should be internally and externally clean. Suchi means that one should perform activities only for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somehow or other one can remember the Supreme Lord constantly by chanting and hearing His holy name, one will come to the pure stage of life as described in Vedic mantra. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvastam gatopi va yat smaret pundarikaksham sabhyantara bhyantara suchihi. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had pointed out that although one may mark the body with sacred tilak, perform mudras and chant mantras, if one is thinking within his mind of material sense gratification, his worship of the Lord Sri Hari is bogus. Therefore, the word Suchi here indicates that one should worship the Lord in a favorable frame of mind, considering the Lord to be sacred and oneself to be an insignificant servant of the Lord. Those who are not favorably inclined towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not like to worship the deity in the temple. And they discourage people from going to temple of the Lord by saying that since the Lord is omnipresent, there is no need to do so. Such envious persons prefer the gymnastic exercises of Hatha Yoga or the Raj Yoga system. But the statements by the Lord Himself, such as Vasudeva Sarvamiti and Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, indicates that in mature transcendental realization, one should understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of everything, and therefore the only worshipable object. Thus, the devotees who worship the deity of the Lord according to the Panchratra system are not attracted by yoga process except Bhakti Yoga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So, at first glance, this sounds like the instruction of proper worship, right? Suchi, clean yourself, prepare yourself, sit properly, worship the Lord. But the purport makes it clear that this verse is not mainly about procedure. It's about sincerity. The key word in this verse is Suchi, which means clean or pure. But the purport explains that Suchi does not mean external cleanliness. The Suchi does not just mean external cleanliness. Suchi means clean outside and clean inside. And most importantly, clean intentions. The purport says, Suchi means that one should perform activities only for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is a very high standard. It means that simply doing devotional activities is not enough. We also have to ask ourselves, why are we doing them? As householders, this is very relevant. We may be busy at work, we'll have responsibility of family, we'll be managing finances, we'll be serving at the temple, we'll be leading others. And all of that can slowly shift our focus away from Krishna without even noticing it. So Shuchi means that Krishna stays at the center of our motivation, not just for our routine. Then the purport quotes the verse from Garud Puran. Om apavitra va pavitro va sarvagatam sarvastham gatopi va yat smaret pundarikaksham sapyantara bhantara shuchihi. This verse tells us something very reassuring and very serious at the same time. It says that no matter our situation, if we remember the Lord, we become pure both inside and outside. For householders, it is very important because our lives are rarely perfect. We are tired, we are distracted, we make mistakes. So, this verse is not saying rules are unimportant. It is saying that remembrance of Krishna is the heart of purity. If remembrance is strong, imperfections gradually get purified. If remembrance is weak, even perfect routines become empty. Now comes a very direct warning from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he says, even if one wears tilak, performs hand gestures, and chants mantra, if the mind is absorbed in material enjoyment, that worship is bogus. That word bogus is very strong. It means fake. It means it looks real but has no spiritual value. This warning is especially meant for people who have been practicing for a long time. Why? Because over time, it is easy to continue devotional habits while the heart slowly drifts. We can chant while thinking about work. We'll worship while planning the day. We hear classes while mentally solving problems. This verse is asking to be honest to ourselves, not get discouraged. The purport then further explains how the real worship looks like. One should worship the Lord in a favorable frame of mind, seeing the Lord as sacred and oneself as a small servant. This is real purification. Not complex techniques, not complex position, but a simple, honest mood. Modern life trains us to feel important, to be busy, feel to be needed, or feel to be in control. Bhakti trains us to remember we are dependent. We are being protected. I'm serving someone greater than myself. If we forget this mood, even sincere activities will become dry. The purport also addresses a common area. If God is everywhere, why go to the temple? The purport says that this thinking often comes from resistance, not realization. Why? Because the deity forces us to slow down, to bow down, to be humble, to be present. Householders sometimes say, I worship at home, I worship in my heart. Well, that may be true, but the question is, do we still place ourselves in situation where our ego is challenged? Deity worship does that. And then the purport concludes by saying the devotees are not attached to other yoga systems. Why? Because bhakti is based on exclusive surrender, not partial surrender, not balanced surrender, but choosing Krishna as the center. Householder life often pushes us towards controlling everything. while serving Krishna on the side. So, my dear devotees, this verse reminds us to gently reverse that. Let me end with a few simple takeaway points from this verse. Number 1, ask yourself daily, why are you practicing? Not just what are you practicing. Try to give Krishna your full attention, even for short moments. Let deity worship be honest, not rushed or mechanical. Do not rely on seniority as a proof of purity. Let remembrance lead discipline, not discipline replace remembrance. So this verse is not meant to discourage us, it is meant to protect us. If we keep our hearts honest, then householder life will become powerful offering to Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Manasi, Ganga, Devi, Dasi, and Madana-gopāla Prabhu. Wonderful family, wonderful example of real life surrender. Thank you very much. Manasi Ganga, a follow-up question. You explained so wonderfully how our focus on Krishna may be gradually shifted from Krishna to other things. And then you also explained how it's a gradual process to keep Krishna in the center and gradually work through anarthas and other unwanted things. So both things are gradual. Could you please elaborate on what gradual means? How do we understand gradual? Does that mean that I can chant and then I can watch some TV and then I can do this and that and then worship? How do we stay focused without going crazy, at the same time without drifting into Maya and not going anywhere? How to strike that balance between moving forward gently without burning out or just getting stuck?
Yeah. Wow, such a powerful question. So let me reiterate the question and correct me if I'm missing something. So you are asking, Anand Bihari Prabhu, that what is the and how do we gradually bring ourselves more focused on Krishna? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and gradual, what does gradual mean? Does that mean I can smoke a little bit and
Oh,
a little bit? Is that what gradual means?
thank you for wonderful question. Gradual means taking small portions, but sincere portions. Reducing, or if possible, eliminating distractions. And I know His Holiness Sri Satchidananda Swami Maharaj mentions on getting into the mood, especially before chanting. And he discusses a lot of techniques, how you can get into the proper mood, proper frame of mind. Gradually means to be conscious that I am about to do this particular service and focusing our mind for, even if it's short term, as it's mentioned in this purport, even if it is short term, to be present, to be fully there in that service, whichever service we are doing. Trying to keep the distraction away, trying to keep the mood centered on the service of Krishna, mood centered on Krishna, and taking all the tips that are given to us by our senior acharyas, our Gurudevs, to come into those honest moments where it is between you and Krishna. I hope it makes some sense. Does it make some sense?
Yes, it's very powerful strategy. If you're chanting already, why not chant sincerely? Right? Why not do it in the mood? Great, that's a great point. Even little chanting, still enter into the mood. Wow, that's great. Thank you, Manasi Ganga.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Dear devotees, please. Maturanath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Manasi Ganga, thank you for the very sweet, sincere, heartfelt class. My question, and I have a comment after, but first I have a question, is you're mentioning how if we are trying to perform actions which are, devotional service, but the heart is not in it. And even, there's other motivations. So how do we, so much of the time, especially in the culture we live in now, it's not even, it's Western culture has pervaded the whole earth, even India, around relationships. Usually the motivation in relationships is attraction. And that attraction is, I want to be the enjoyer. I want to enjoy with this other person. And at the same time, we're thinking, well, I want to be a devotee. So how to come to relationships in balance where one can really stay in balance, because a lot of time devotees come together and it's very hard to hold back. They want to have sex. And they may be in a good place spiritually, and then, that they can lose that. And then also other unconscious things come up where they want to maybe be controlling or maybe not be authentic in the relationship because they're afraid that they won't be accepted, things like this. So maybe you can speak on this.
Wow, Mathura Nath Prabhu. Very practical question, and this is a very relevant question to today's age. And a lot of youth is facing this situation, and they are torn in their heart that how do I trade this water? With the practice of Krishna consciousness, finding a partner, then live a life which is given and instructed by our acharyas. Actually, not that it is very simple, but the bottom line, if it is established, then the path becomes a little bit easier. By bottom line, I mean the expectations. If expectations are set or are aware, and in the relationship people are aware of the fact that this is the life that a person has chosen, then a lot of things become very clear. Of course, each situation is different, each person is different, their choices are different. And it is also possible that as life progresses, the priorities may change. But as a devotees, we try to be gentle, we try to be kind with the behavior, with the expectation of the other person. We try to accommodate within the limits. We try to explain where we cannot accommodate. Sometimes the situation becomes where the accommodation or the expectation set by the other person is not practical. At that time, we do ask our senior devotees with this particular situation, if somebody is going through, the Siksha Gurus, the Diksha Gurus, the Acharyas, the scriptures, they all have mentioned many various situations where a human being goes through, and accordingly we can follow their instruction. It is not easy. It is this is a very specific question, and if there are specific situations that are arising, you can definitely consult the senior devotees and acharyas. Does it make sense? Is there any part of question that I have missed to address?
No, thank you. Thank you. It's very wonderfully answered. And just a reflection from your class, ultimately, bottom line, I'm what I'm hearing you in essence speak about is really to be sincere and not trying to fake it till I make it, but really sincere and come from where I'm at, which means truly being authentic. And I was reflecting too, what I was bringing up around relationships is that when we're not authentic in relationships, usually what that leads to is some great dysfunction in the relationship. And I was thinking everything here is a reflection of what is happening in our relationship with Krishna, ultimately in the spiritual realm. So when we're not authentic in our relationship with Krishna, really authentically coming from where I'm at, we're going to have a crisis in our spiritual life. And I think this is something our people are struggling with because they're not having a consistent internal update of what's happening for them internally. Where am I really at, as you were saying? I really appreciate your points on that. And I think we need to update that every day. Where am I at? What is my faith at? What is my intention? What is my motivation? And what is my anukulya? What are my positive feelings and thoughts about Krishna today? And then do it the next day. Then there's that internal check-in. So thank you so much. Really beautiful. You're sharing.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is to be present, to be conscious in our Krishna consciousness. That's the only way the wheel will go forward. Otherwise, it will be hollow. In any relationship, you're just saying words that you don't mean it, then relationship falls apart. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Shishika Prabhu emphasizes how it doesn't really matter how many years we've been practicing, it matters how we've been practicing in any given moment of time. And that's all we have. Thank you for making this point, Manasi Ganga. That even if it's something small, if we're already doing that, why not do it sincerely? Thank you. That's great. Gail has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, Manasi Ganga Matavi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yeah, I think I have more of a comment maybe on the faking it till you make it thing. So my understanding is that faking it till you make it can come from both, or either, I should say. It can come from an authentic place and it can come from an inauthentic place. So I think it's the inauthentic place that we don't want faking it till you make it come from. You know, if you're faking it and you are believing that your faking is actually something that's true about yourself, you know, you're faking humility and you actually think that therefore you are humble. You know, I think that's when it becomes a problem. But I think an authentic way to fake it till you make it is, okay, I don't feel like bowing down, for example, because, you know, I'm not feeling humble. But, you know, it's not that we should necessarily wait till we feel humble before we bow down. You know, we bow down and eventually the mind will follow, you know, but in faking it in that way, we have to acknowledge to ourselves that, yeah, I'm bowing down, but I don't feel humble. I'm just trying to, you know, get control over my false ego through this action. You know, this was, I'm thinking of an example that was given in an interaction between Srila Prabhupada and one of his disciples, where his disciple, you know, was lamenting to Srila Prabhupada, you know, I don't feel humble. And then Srila Prabhupada said, that's okay. You know, you bow down and eventually the feelings will come. But so the point is that when you, and faking it till you make it, you don't lie to yourself, you know, and use your external activities as a support for qualities that you don't yet have or have not yet exhibited. You do it as a way to cultivate the qualities that you want. So I'm just, or my only point is that not all faking it till you make it is bad. It depends upon the mentality with which you do it. Right.
Yeah, very great point. Even if we are mechanically doing it, but in this verse it mentions, if you remember the what I'm doing and why I'm doing, it really helps us at some point bring to our mind the fact that we are the servant and He is the Supreme Lord. We are the tiny, insignificant servant and we are serving the Supreme Lord. Remembrance of Krishna in the service, even for whatever minutes we are doing the seva, that remembrance, that honest presence gives a boost to a spiritual progress. That's what this verse says. And wonderful point, Gil Mataji, that even if we are doing it, we should do it. We don't know, we should still do it. But just bringing in the attention, or sometimes they focus that, okay, I am this, he is Krishna. That can help.
Manasi Ganga, a follow-up question, can I ask?
Yes, please, go ahead.
You mentioned in the beginning of your class how our motivation should be to please Krishna. Whatever we do in order to please Krishna. So in our practice, what are we chasing feelings or we're trying to please Krishna? And what's the correlation between our desire to please Krishna, our aspiration to please Krishna, and our feelings? Should there be a correlation, or we should just disregard our feelings and just move like a freight train trying to please Krishna? And where does our psychophysical nature kicks in, if it has any place in our practice? Please, can you explain that?
I can attempt. So let me ask to clarify. When you say our feelings, do you mean the feelings other than Krishna Seva, or feelings of doing Krishna Seva but not situation is not conducive?
By feelings, I meant when we sit down to chant japa and we don't feel anything, for example. We're trying to please Krishna or chase feelings. How long can we go without feeling in our desire to please Krishna? And if we chase feelings and make sure that my psychophysical nature is included in my service, then where's room for Krishna? Is that a contradiction, trying to please Krishna and include my feelings and psychophysical nature and all those things in my practice? Or it can be harmonized?
So this question is very practical, and I guess it will benefit a lot of the listeners and help clear out a lot of doubt. And I'd like, in the end, I'd like Madana-gopāla Prabhuji also to chime in. As I understand from my Guru Maharaj, that feelings do come, and it is not possible to just block it completely. But as Krishna, he mentions in Bhagavad Gita that he is Suhrid, meaning the best friend. So even if I have a feeling that I am really not in the mood to serve you, Krishna, but when we are involved in a relationship with Krishna and we mention it, he still listens to it. So in those moments, you're still in engagement with Krishna. You're still being honest. You're still being agreeing that I am not perfect, but I'm offering. Even if I'm imperfect, I'm offering my imperfect self to you in whichever service I'm offering. But it is your mercy that you make this service perfect. In that way, we rely on his mercy. We still have to be honest, even if our feelings are of laziness, or feelings are of averseness, or any other feeling, or we are feeling love towards Krishna. We still offer it to Krishna, that Krishna, this is the basket of my feeling that I brought. Please allow me to do this service. In Japa, there's a whole session where it is discussed that how this comes, how we process it, and how we move forward, passing by all this relationship and make our service more engaging, more honest, as it mentions in this verse, and fulfilling. You will see that once you, even when we are doing deity service on the altar, we have to be constantly in mind engaged. Will Srimati like this? Will he like that? Will he do this? Will it adjust? Even if it's the same jewelry that you are trying to put. I'm just giving the deity worship example, but it applies to a lot of services too. Even if it's the same earring, even if it's the same necklace, even if it's the same outfit that they are wearing. But we still have to engage our mind and tell him that I am not perfect, but you please help me. And thereby gradually we come to a point where we see that this can be done. We see that even for a few minutes, the ras is there, the taste is there, the satisfaction of offering, even though imperfect, but that honest offering. That gives the joy. When we are engaged, and Krishna reciprocates 100%. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam tatisya tam tatha bhajamyam. Right? So he definitely reciprocates to the degree that we try to engage him in our life.
That's a perfect answer. As soon as you said Krishna, I felt hopeful, I felt included, I felt relieved. Thank you very much. Bhakti is not a one-way street where we can get lost and confused. Krishna is Suhrid, like you said. He will reciprocate if we're sincere, if we bring our plate to him. May not be perfect, but if we bring it to Krishna, he'll reciprocate. Yeah. As soon as Krishna is in the picture, everything is good. Thank you, Manasi Ganga. Thank you. I feel very confident now. Okay, Lady Ann says in the chat, the ego is real. We can only serve one at a time, ego or light. Feelings are a reaction to our own action. Thank you, Lady Ann. You're very philosophical. Okay, Krishna Gowda says in the chat, why do some people from eastern countries of India and some Chinese people eat all insects and animals? Some African people eat monkeys. Why? Krishna Gowda, the questions have to be in the context of the class. Krishna Gowda, it's a very, very good question. Maybe Manasi Ganga, maybe you can connect that to class somehow.
So this class is about Suchi, cleanliness.
Was it Akashvani you heard just now?
We'll have Madana-gopāla Prabhu, who's here. He can address this question very nicely.
I just got in the room. I just stepped. Can you?
Right.
Yeah.
Madana-gopāla Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I think, isn't it time for the curtain to open? We're kind of overdue, it seems.
Yeah, no one's streaming from the temple. So.
Oh, we're not doing the temple streaming?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going straight into the aftershock.
Oh, yeah, afterglow.
Sorry.
Yeah, this question perfectly fits into the afterglow mood. Yeah, let's address it.
The question is very nice, actually.
I wanted to go
Many
back to
people
the
have this.
previous question from you, but maybe I'll talk about the monkeys and insects first, since that seems to be on everybody's mind right now. See, the question itself is interesting. Why are we upset if people are eating monkeys, but we're not upset that people are eating cows? Like, why are we not asking that question? Isn't it shocking that people in the world eat chickens? Like, wow. Or they eat fishes? Why do we not ask those questions? Why is it so freaky that we eat insects, but it's not at all freaky when someone sitting next to you on the plane is devouring a fish or a chicken? Why does that not disturb us just as much? That's the real question. We should not make distinctions that people are eating insects or dogs or monkeys is very disturbing, but people eating cows is not. It's just as disturbing. And that's really the question that needs to be asked. That's what I can say. Otherwise, and if you really want to go into it, we should be disturbed that we're eating cabbage, because you're cutting off the head. A head of cabbage, a head of lettuce. That's sinful too. What did the cabbage do to you? But so that's why it needs a more holistic understanding. That out there, we have the temple. Maybe we can turn on that sound.
Yes, thank you, Madana-gopāla Prabhu, for expanding on the question. Temple room, please unmute yourself so we can hear.
The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we attain to the trust in God. I vow to those of you with great awe and reverence. By His grace, one exalts the ocean of the suffering, the name and mercy of Krishna. I only wish to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from His lotus mouth. Attachment to His lotus feet is the perfection that reveals all desires. feel this way there are.
He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures, sin of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor, and Lord and the master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. We take shelter at your precious lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, we're now officially in the afterglow. Madana-gopāla Prabhu, Manasi Ganga, back to you.
Hare Krishna. I see Lady Anne writes, compassion beyond your own pets. Don't eat pets. Sometimes people come out and say, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats, as if it's like, it's so much worse than eating a pig, you know? And it becomes an outrage. People make songs about it. So, thank you, Lady Anne, for sharing that thought. Don't eat your pets. And you can have little cows as pets. And some people even have chickens as pets. These are all pet animals. Any animal can be a pet. You know, iguanas. Apparently there's like, in Florida, the iguanas are falling out of trees. And it's because of the cold spell. And people are making iguana tacos. So it's kind of sad, you know. But it's not less. Yeah, I just saw it yesterday because it's so cold. And so it's like, it's raining iguanas, and so we should be eating them, you know, because it came from a tree. Right? It didn't come from a tree. Anyway, Jaman Jay says, I once saw a t-shirt that said eating a hamburger while petting a dog is messed up. Right, yeah. No, it's true. I've seen, like, you know, someone ran over a dog with a bicycle and the dog's leg is hurt and it's limping. And then the other guy comes, oh my God, poor dog. You know, he's petting the dog's leg. He got hurt. He must be feeling... And then he's eating a hot dog with the other hand. Like he has a dog in one hand and the dog in the other hand. A corn dog, you know. It's all dogs. So yeah, thank you, Jamal. We don't see the connection, right? And that's what we need. Our job is to point it out, not just the insects and so on, just because it seems intuitively gross. You know? Yes. But I wanted to come back to this question about chasing feelings. I thought it's a very deep question, Anand Bihari Prabhu. You know, and at first glance, it seems that they're opposed to each other, right? One is that I serve only to please Krishna. My feelings are irrelevant. I feel dry for year after year. I don't care. My goal is to please Krishna. Krishna says nothing pleasing me more than one who distributes Bhagavad Gita to others, this knowledge. And so I don't care if I have no feeling in my heart when I do it. I'm just going to keep doing it. That's one. And the other one is I want to feel something from my practices. That's the, you know, what's the point if I don't have any feelings? But in our philosophy, they're not enemies. We're just presenting them as they belong to different stages of the same journey. See, so we have to frame the perspective correctly. See, Krishna is Anandamaya, reservoir of all pleasure. His name is Rama. Anand Bihari, you might be familiar with the concept of Anand and Rama. Anyway, so Rama means the reservoir of all pleasure. And we are also Anandmaya, the soul, Anandmaya Bhyasat. You know, so pleasing Krishna and tasting happiness are ultimately the same direction, but not necessarily the same motivation. You see, it's our motivation that we want to check, right? The problem is not wanting happiness. Happiness is what drives us to do anything, including surrendering to Krishna. The problem is a difficulty in centering the self instead of centering on Krishna. You see, selfishness. So then we can test ourselves. If happiness or feelings don't come, do I become grateful and more surrendered? Or do I feel entitled, discouraged when it fades? Does it become transactional? So is it wrong to want spiritual satisfaction? No. It's unavoidable to want spiritual satisfaction. Prabhupada says repeatedly, joyful, right? Joyfully performed, happily performed. Even Krishna says, Susukham kartum avyayam. This, he's giving the incentive to Arjuna. Rajvidya Rajguhyam is the opening of chapter 9. Susukham kartum avyayam. Do it. It's fun. It's like it'll give you joy. So he's giving the motivation, but he's saying that that's really not the motivation, but he's giving some incentive that you will feel satisfied. Krishna never asks us to cultivate misery as a virtue. You see. But there's a difference. There's a difference between spiritual encouragement, which strengthens your service, and then this idea of spiritual consumerism. You see the difference, the word consumerism, where Krishna becomes a means for you to feel good. The first one purifies you. The second one actually stifles your growth. It'll stall your growth. Because now, if you had a stretch where you don't have the you don't feel the Krishna's presence, then I'm out of here. I don't think I can do this. This is not for me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays, right? Whether you're present before me or you're making me brokenhearted by not being present before me, I don't care. I'm going to keep serving you because you're my Lord. So that prayer should give us some clue. There's Rama, Hare Krishna Rama. So that prayer should give us a clue. It's both. We do want to be encouraged, but we don't want to fall in the trap of selfish, self-centered spiritual consumerism, because we can go down that, that path. So think of a child, right? It's natural for a child to enjoy the affection. Like it's natural for Ram to come and enjoy the hug that Anand Bihari you're giving him. It's very natural. But maturity, when the child matures, means learning to love even when the affection is not immediately felt. Like later on when he's 6 years old and you're telling him, okay, this is, you have to make sure you put your shoes nicely, and you're correcting him and so on. But because you've given him 5 years of unbridled affection, he knows that even this instruction is coming from a place of affection. And so he'll want to do it, and he'll see that as an act of love, because that's maturity in the relationship and a maturity in his own development. So when we mature in our spiritual life and when we have these corrective actions from the Lord, we see it's coming from the Lord in a place of love, you see. But we may not feel that way if we're new. We're not ready for it. That's why it says when you're parenting, you don't punish or discipline your child for a few years in the beginning. Just give them, let them be permissive. Even if they make mistakes, it's okay. They'll learn later, don't worry. Right now, just flood them with affection. Because later when you correct them, they know it's coming from affection. They know you're not, then they'll listen to it. So you don't need to, discipline too early. That's why, when we introduce new people, we said, just add Krishna to your life. Don't worry about what but I smoke. Don't worry about it. Just add Krishna to your life. But I like to eat so much. No, eat. Come, eat up to your nose. And then they become devotees and start chanting. Okay, I'm chanting now, 5 rounds, 6 rounds. How come there's no breakfast today? Oh, today's Ekadashi. What's that? Well, we fast. What? You fast? I didn't know you're fasting here. I thought it was like eating up to the nose every day. So gradually, you don't shock them all at once, right? So that's how you do it. Okay. Is that helping, Anand Bihari Prabhu?
Absolutely. Helpful. Thank you very much, Madana-gopāla Prabhu and Manasi Ganga. Manasi Ganga, you should start a guided practice.
Yes.
Guided bhakti meditations, as your voice is so soothing, sweet and calm, and
Poppy saying that.
Conscious. Poppy says, I concur 100%. Manasi Ganga, you should be a radio host.
Yes.
Bhakti radio, Bhakti Loka station host.
She should have a proper video podcast.
Yeah.
See, like I have a face for radio. She has a face for actual video podcast.
Krishna.
Okay, I think Sadhvi Didi had a hand up, and then Poppy had a question about the cabbage, but we'll come back to cabbage later. Let's go with Sadhvi first. Yes.
Hare Krishna, and thank you very much for today. In my understanding, before I believed the Supreme Lord, I believed everything happened for a reason. There is something to learn from it. And whatever bad is happening is because the devil do it, because the devil wants to have power on you and make you to turn your back to the Supreme Lord. But then when I start to learn about Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, I learned, no. I was there. I was seeing that whatever happened to you, I saw everything. Because you needed to go through this because of that. And that comes the word karma. Because of the karma, because of the before in your previous life you have done whatever, that's why you have to go through this. For me, this is, I understand and I respect it. And I'm trying to do whatever I can to just not to forget to always think about Krishna, to always do my best to do. Don't start my day before my 16 round chanting are done, and to offer food, everything what it is. But there's something that I still am stuck in it, is that you do it with love, with the belief in what you're doing and so on. I believe whatever it says in Shastra, I believe it. But what I don't understand is when you mentioned also about child, you teach the child and so on. When you never in your life, now I'm talking about someone who has gone through that, she never learned about anything about love because of the situation she went through. She never learned about what is love, the affection of father, mothers, sibling, and so on and so on. She just tried to survive. So now the difficulty comes, what is love then? Is the love that love we are talking about, the love that we know, we learn about it in everywhere, or is this love another kind of love? This is the difficulty. And then I get to learn about the Krishnas that says, is an illusion. This is illusion. This is the temporary. This is not the real aim of life. It shouldn't be the aim of life. Then I'm lost. Then I don't know where to turn, what to do. So please help me to understand, is the love we talk about, is it the same love that you talk about, the mother-child, father-child love, or that love is totally different? What? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very deep question, Sadhu Didi. The concept of love. And it is true that in our modern world, we don't have many experiences of genuine selfless love. It's very rare to begin with. And like you mentioned, in some cases, children grow up in households or in situations where they didn't even experience much love or care or anything. So that makes it even more difficult. So what is love? And in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I gave a class with the topic, what is love? On as we're coming up to February 14th, apparently that's like a big day on this topic. So this concept is very confusing to many people. But in summary, love is, from our Krishna consciousness, a spiritual perspective, love is an affectionate connection that is centered around pleasing the other person selflessly, through service, through action, through doing something tangible. Love is not just a feeling. Love is not something that happens to you. Love is something that you do. You see, so that's why love is an action. That's why Prabhupada, a lot of philosophers in the past would translate bhakti as spiritual love or devotional love. Prabhupada always translated it as loving devotional service. He never left the word service out, because it has that service is a component. So that's one thing to understand. So when people get confused, what is this love? It gets very confusing, you see. So that's one issue. But I want to come to this point about, which you made, very good one. And you touched the nerve of modern spiritual life, especially in the West. Many people come to Krishna without ever having felt safe in their childhood, or delighted in, or felt consistently loved as children. So when we speak about love of God, then their conditioned nervous system will hear things like risk, not refuge. So then how do we even convey this idea of Krishna conscious love in the way that actually touches the soul of those who are not used to seeing the word love in that way? And for people who lacked love early in life, that word love is not automatically attractive. It can feel overwhelming, suspicious, especially if someone was abused in the name of love. You know, so we don't begin with Krishna loves you so much, just surrender and trust. We have to start out a little even more basic. We say Krishna is safe. Krishna means steadiness. Krishna won't disappear on you. Krishna is not moody, needy. Krishna genuinely wants you to be strong, and so on. When we explain that Krishna is consistent, even when we may be inconsistent. Krishna is present even though we're not feeling anything. Krishna remains unoffended by numbness or distance. I mean, think about it. We turned away from him, we kept our distance, but he keeps coming. He's not affected. He's not offended by it. You know, so for many, sometimes this idea of safety has to come before even affection. You know, that's the unfortunate situation in our world, is that we haven't, many of us, and it doesn't matter which family, rich family, poor family, Western world, Eastern world, doesn't matter. Many of us have come from circumstances where the love was not completely selfless, or there was just no loving feeling, or there's a lot of transactionalism in it. And so that's part of what's become normalized numbness and distance. And so sometimes when you try to bring that into our spiritual life, then we feel that, you know, something's wrong with me spiritually. I don't really want love. I have no feelings. But that's why we're teaching, and that comes back to the previous question. Not feeling love is not the same as lack of devotion. It gradually comes, you know. And if we do our spiritual duties without emotion, that's not hypocrisy. We know eventually that Krishna will, eventually the dryness and the crust will break off, you know. So in bhakti, we're not trying to manufacture love. We're allowing our heart to slowly thaw out and the ice to crack. You see, the feelings will come later. See? And Krishna accepts any steps toward him. He doesn't wait for feelings before accepting our service. See? So love has to be reframed as reliability, not intense feelings. A lot of people associate love with drama, emotional highs, possessiveness, you know, pain followed by pleasure. But we want to teach a different definition. Krishna conscious love is that we're able to show up tomorrow again and again, trusting that nothing bad will happen if you're honest, feeling less alone when you're doing ordinary things. You see, having someone who never uses your weaknesses against you, because that's Krishna. So those kind of things will really give us a core when we reframe the concept of love. If that helps, Sadhvi Mataji, I hope I answered your question, because it's a very sophisticated question. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Can we go back to this disturbing practice of eating cabbage?
Yes, I was going to go back to that cabbage, right? So cabbage is one of my favorite items. Right. Oh, yeah, the link, I think, there you go. Venu Mother shared the link of the class that I referenced.
For the love.
What is love?
One.
Basically, it's just, baby, don't hurt me no more. That's what love is. That's what it means.
This song, ever since you mentioned that.
Yes. So the analogy of eating cabbage. So the point I was making a graphic. You know, we said head of cabbage, ear of corn, eye of potato. It's like, are these vegetarian items? So my point was making this graphic example was that even when we kill a plant, there is karmic reaction associated with it. It's violence. We don't have a right to decapitate a cabbage. We don't. But what if I'm hungry? That's my natural food. I'm a human being. I eat cabbages.
Jivo jivasya jiva.
Yeah. So Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Yagya Shishtashina to muchyante sarva kilpishay bhunjate te tu agham papa ye pachanti atma karanat. That unless the food items, whether it's cabbage, lettuce, carrots, unless they're offered to Krishna, they will have sin. It's an agham papa, very heavy sin. You had no right to kill that cabbage. But if you offer it to Krishna, then right, muchyante sarva kilpisha, you are free from all the sinful reactions and all the concomitant miseries that come from it. You're freed from it because Krishna absorbs it. That's why it's important to bring Krishna into the picture when we eat anything. We have to bring Krishna into it. Okay. Now, you might think, okay, well, I can offer the insects because, they're quite yummy, crunchy, so is that okay? But that's not okay because Krishna says what he accepts. He says leaf, fruit, flower, and water. Now, you may say, but flowers sometimes have insects in them. But he's not looking for that extra protein in the insect. He just wants the flower. So we offer clean flour, the flowers, like that. So, like cauliflower is a flower. You can offer it, and leaves and so on. Cabbage is leaf. So you got leaf, cauliflower is a flower, and so many vegetables. The point is, this is food for human beings. This is what he will accept if you offer it love. So just want to answer Popi's question. That's why I said cabbage. Yeah.
Thank you. This helps. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So clearly you're saying leaf flower as mentioned in Bhakti Path. So this example doesn't go towards if somebody, meat eaters would offer it. I mean, we're not supposed to offer it, but is it the same thing as me offering plant-based food versus meat, and then offering to Krishna, and then my sins will be cleared?
Yes, you can offer plant-based foods, of course. That's what Krishna is saying, and that's how we eat. And Krishna talks about food at length, by the way. He talks about food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of ignorance. He talks about how much to eat. It's all in the Gita. It's all in the Gita. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too little. Otherwise, you can't focus on your yoga practice. So on. So all these things are there. Yes, we can only offer certain things. We cannot just offer anything you want and say this is prasad. No. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Sadhu has another question. Sadhu Didi.
Yes, thank you very much. When it comes to food, I have also something there. What I don't really know what to do with it. I understand that with meat and with eggs, fish, and so on. That I understand, and it was just done it. I just accepted and I done it. But I also read too much, and I have started to read again for the second time, Nectar of Instruction. Therein mention that the food, you shouldn't take the food like in luxury, in form of luxury. In my understanding, it's like taste. It shouldn't be that I will do the food so that it tastes such and such, and that comes where it comes to spices, right? Different spices, using of different spices. What I understand of that is many of spices shouldn't be used in the food because they have tamasic or rajasic guna in them. there comes my difficulty. I don't know what to do with it. I have very much difficulty with that. Chili, you shouldn't use chili. You shouldn't use tamarind, for instance. Tamarind have sourness and sweetness in it, but you shouldn't use it in the food. So can I use tamarind or chili and offer it to Krishna still?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So again, I refer to Bhagavad Gita. It's very interesting. If you read very closely, you have to read very closely. Okay. Krishna says, food that is in the mode of ignorance is tasteless. So, you're saying, should I eat for taste? Well, if it has no taste, it's mode of ignorance automatically, even if it's fresh. That's number one. Okay. Then we can put a little bit of tamarind, sure. A little bit of chili, no problem. But he said if it's too much spicy, then it's mode of passion. So what is too much? That you have to determine. Too much means it aggravates your body, it creates stomach problems. That's too much. So you have to balance the concept of tastelessness and burning a hole in your stomach. You have to find a happy medium. That'll be mode of goodness. You see? You understand? Also, what is suitable for your body is slightly different from somebody else. The people who, veggie sandwich is too spicy for them. Just plain, they can't handle it. It's just white bread and veggie. But, so, and then others, right, they need a little bit more just to move the needle on the taste factor. So it varies from person to person. As long as you're not harming your health and it's not aggravating your mind, that's how you view it. So Krishna describes mode of goodness food. He says if it's healthy for your body, it tastes good, it is sweet, it is fresh, and it extends your bodily life, extends your longevity, gives you clarity of thought. These are the definitions. Now, if you ate some food that took away your clarity of thought, then you're moving towards. You see, it's a sliding scale. It varies from person to person. One man's food is another man's poison. So you have to be careful. But you use the guidelines in the Gita to determine. Okay, for me, this seems to work because it's making me more clear, may give me energy, extend my lifespan. When I go to the doctor again, my blood profile is a little bit better than last time. Those kind of things. You have to find that balance. It changes from person to person. But at least we have some general framework to view with.
Thank you.
Yes, and we have Prabhupada's personal example. He said, put spicy, it's okay, as long as it's not too much, So,
But
yes.
I'm sorry to say that. I have to just say this. I remember when I start going to the temple restaurant, which is nearby, the food was so strong in the taste. It was so spicy. I had problem with it.
Yeah.
So how is it possible that it's okay to do it as prasadam and serve it?
No, you have to be careful. So that's what I'm saying. For some people, certain prasadam is not meant for them, and maybe the cooks aren't doing the right way. It's possible. Just because a cook is in a temple and they're certified as a temple restaurant cook or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean they're exactly following the guidelines of how much spice to use. Not every person in every ISKCON kitchen, is fully conversant necessarily. They'll make to their taste. So we have to just take it with a grain of salt. Not too much salt though. All right, because that's also a mode of passion. Too much salt. Okay, 1 grain of salt. Karen.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, Krishna.
Thank you for a wonderful class. I was just wondering if you could speak on, you mentioned something back like an hour ago or more about our ego and the deity worship. And I do have the experience for myself that like it's very relieving and refreshing to take the focus off of myself and place it on the deities. But I was just wondering if you had any insight into like how to kind of redirect children in that moment when they might be getting very like attached to their egos in terms of what they're doing for service or what they're not doing for service or correcting each other, these kinds of things that sort of come up in the moment of doing like an arti and offerings and kirtan and stuff like that? I know it's a kind of weird specific question, but if you have any guidance to offer.
So children with the ego problem in devotional service, huh? Wow. This is a good problem to have, actually. That means they're really interested. That means they want to perfect it. I feel, I do not know which age group you're referring to, but our movement is all about love and encouragement, especially for the children. If they are wanting to perfect their offering, we should encourage them. If you feel that they're offending another child in a negative way, where the child is not really learning but is being suppressed by the incoming rule, then it's our duty to gently explain them how to impart knowledge to another person. And that's a skill. It's a life skill for the child to learn. That being said, I just want to share that last night we had a very small gathering, and we had wonderful children who are practicing Krishna consciousness. They are in the age group of 10, 11, and they have been practicing Krishna consciousness since
whole
5,
most of their life.
most of their life, 8 years, 9 years. And the child was saying how Krishna consciousness has helped him stay calm. And this is a 10-year-old boy who really strives to do his best in school, at home, in the service. So he was mentioning in detail how he serves his home deities, waking them up, bringing them all different kinds of offerings. And actually, I think that was the best thing I heard the entire week. And the parents did tell me that he is working on his improvement of service to Krishna. Sometimes that same parent has told me in the past that, my dear Mataji, while he's doing excellent in his school, in his practice of devotional service at home or in Sunday school, we are afraid that he'll become very, very proud and egoistic, and he'll think everybody is beneath him. But yesterday when he spoke, he showed his vulnerability, that how he's dependent on Krishna, that he cannot go to school without. And I'm just giving you reference so you can see that he does not come from a Indian body background. The parents are not from there. So just seeing that, I hope it can give you also some tips that the children are learning. And with your kind guidance, I'm sure they are going to shine very brightly in future.
Yeah, and I can add a couple of things. This is a classic problem. Classic means it happens all the time. Little devotees, big hearts, and underdeveloped impulse control.
Wow.
Right? Ego fireworks right in front of the deities.
Yeah, he didn't put the glass properly.
So the good news is that these are gold mines for gentle parenting and bhakti formation if you frame it properly. It's an opportunity. It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. Teachable moments, So, of course, what's happening is not that my kids are being offensive, their seva is contaminated, they're fighting in front of Krishna. That's not really what's happening. What is happening is they want to serve. That's why she said, it's a good problem to have. They want to serve. The ego skills are age appropriate. I don't know. I'm assuming they're under 12 or something, maybe under 14. So that's age appropriate ego skills. And Krishna is letting the character formation happen in front of his divine vision. So seva with friction is still seva in progress. Children are not meant to be pure servants yet. Quote unquote pure servants. They're pure at heart.
Yeah, pure.
They're learning how to be servants. So then what can you do then? we don't necessarily should correct only after the conflict. Sometimes you want to do preventative measures. Before seva, you can say something like, okay, now kids, when we serve Krishna together, the goal is not to show who is best. The goal is to make Krishna happy by working together as a team. No grabbing, no pushing, no punching, no correcting each other's seva right now in front of Krishna. Keep it in mind what you want to talk about. Let's talk about it after the temple room is over, right? We should talk about it. We should, if you feel that she did it the wrong way. Yes, we'll talk about it, not right now. So one rule at a time, not too many rules. And it's okay to normalize their feelings. You don't have to normalize the behavior, but you can normalize the feelings. I can understand. You can kneel down and say, name the feeling. You really want to do that seva yourself. It felt unfair when your sister touched the plate. You were excited, didn't want to wait. This is okay. This tells the child that my inner experience is understandable, even if my action needs guidance. You should never say things like, you're being selfish, because then that creates a label. Oh, I'm a selfish person. We don't ever say that. We don't ever create labels like that. We just want to say, you wanted to do this yourself. It felt unfair. You can name their feelings, but we don't cubbyhole them into you're a selfish person, you see. You don't want to say, that's offensive. You don't need to say that. And we should never say, Krishna won't like this. Because what happens, shame kills devotion faster than ego. So we don't want to shame our kids. See, these are some
Or keep saying that, just chant your round with focus. Instead of that, we have to, when this situation arises, we have to show that compassion is very important part of devotional service.
Now sometimes things can escalate out of hand. Then what we do is gently pause the activity, not the relationship. So we say, let's pause this seva for a moment so our hearts can calm down. The idea that children's hearts need self-care. We need self-care. We need to calm down too. It's an opportunity for us. So we don't frame it as a punishment. We don't say, oh, you lost your seva. Look at you now. You blew it. No. We say, we are resetting now. Let's just reset. So then what do children learn with that is that self-regulation is part of devotion. It's not a failure. It's like that if we can be encouraging. That's the thing. Always find opportunities for encouragement. That's our product. Encouragement and love. All right? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I hope this was useful. I don't know if it answered your question at all.
No, it was really nice and very, very good. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're well over time. But thank you all. Thank you, Anand Bihari Prabhu.
Thank you, my dear Anand Bihari Prabhu, for hosting this class. And the
Not many God brothers in America.
one of my gem of my God brother. We are very few in the country, but you reflect the mood of Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Right back at you, Manasi Ganga. Thank you very much for being my God sibling, one of the few on this continent. Thank you. It's an
And my
honor.
dear God sister Chinmay Radha also, I cannot forget.
She's right here. I'll convey. She's right here. Sweet. Okay, we're ready for the Junior Paw Patrol Out of Control Choir. Where are you? Chant loudly. There's no rules, no parameters. Go ahead. Loudly. Sage Sky, where are you?
She just floated on us.
Okay.
Stand sage.
Oh. What are they doing?
They're going to say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much for chanting Hare Krishna, in Sky, Annabelle, and Isaiah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Madana-gopāla Prabhu ki jai, Manasi
Hare
ki
Krishna.
jai. All the childlike devotees on this call, YouTube ki jai. Saturday. Thank you for your association. Krishna loves you. And come again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Ram, say Hare Krishna.